Hey everybody, NovelistCrim here, and welcome to Writing Company and Motivation. This is an accountability stream where we get together on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays around 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern to kind of just do the work. Do whatever it is that makes us feel good, makes us feel passionate. And for me, that's novel writing. I love novels. I try to write them. Anywho, so let's go ahead and jump into tonight's discussion. Which is basically going to be about finding your way, right? So one of the things that I kind of discover, like about life in general, is that a lot of times you got to find your own way. Like I never really went to like a proper college that specifically was designed for like novel writing, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't find my own way to get educated. There's like plenty of books outside that you can get. There's plenty of online courses that you can take, and there's also like a lot of free content on YouTube and stuff that you can like look up. So there's definitely a way to learn, and there's definitely a way to succeed in almost anything that you do, provided you have the will and spirit to try to find your own way. I think that one of the things that a lot of people forget is that once upon a time, back in the older days, where there wasn't any teachers back then. There wasn't any books to read or anything like that. People had to figure things out on their own. I couldn't imagine what it was like to try to become a doctor back in the day, So people just had to try things and learn from experience, and eventually, there's easier ways to get up here. So a lot of people doubt their ability to figure out stuff. But I tell them that you have the same brain as your ancestors, more resources than they did. You can definitely find the things that you want from this world. Now, most of this topic kind of stemmed a little bit from a conversation I was having with a buddy of mine. We were on the topic of weight loss. And one of the things that we kind of realized is that for some reason, whenever we're trying to lose weight and cut there, basically, so the reason why this topic came up in the first place is essentially we were on the topic of weight loss, right? And one of the things that we were discussing, or at least one of his perspectives on the subject, is only you can really find a way that how to lose weight properly, right? Only you really know what would motivate you to follow a diet, or what would motivate you to go do the exercises that you need to do. And it's not following, not to dismiss what is out there, the facts and figures and such, but there's something to be said about something is better than nothing. Trying to find your own way to get to that result, it's totally fine. If you hate doing leg stuff, then don't do leg stuff, I know they say there's that meme of don't skip leg day, but my friend has an interesting perspective on this, and it was essentially well, do you use your legs? Do you need to have super muscular legs? Are you trying to sculpt your body for a particular competition? Or maybe you should just focus on doing the things that you love, right? Because doing something is better than nothing. The more of a thing that you don't, the more of a thing that you're doing that is not what you desire, it makes it harder and harder to convince yourself to do that thing. Now, there's some people who believe that well, it's good for willpower, and if building willpower is your thing, then sure, go for it. But some people don't want to build willpower. Even though one could argue that that's something that everybody should have. But we're talking about trying to get results, and results by any means, I suppose, right? And you'll find that if you start being successful in one regard, you'll start finding it easier to be more successful in another. So kind of if you get those small victories and you start to spread out, I think it's there's something to be said about that. Now let's tie this back into writing. So my friend came with this topic of finding your way, and in order to figure out what would motivate you as a person to get something done. And I thought, wow, that could be like applied to writing, basically. What would motivate you to write? You know, how could you reward yourself? And what way do you work best? Do you work best with music? Do you work best with silence? Do you work best with like doing handwriting versus like typing? One of the things I discovered recently, and by recently I mean like yesterday/today, is I haven't handwritten anything in a long time. I've been doing mostly like, you know, typing stuff because I guess I was used to it. I was on the second draft, and I'm trying to like get my analytical brain engaged and trying to write as clean a draft as possible. But then I realized that there are some zones that need to be like bridged together, and trying to apply this analytical brain, this ability to go back and forth too quickly, you know, like delete and go forward, delete and go forward, is really hindering my creative process. But a couple hours ago, I was laying in bed, you know, next to my book, and then just like, you know, listening to some chill music and just writing with, you know, handwriting. I found that it was very easy to engage myself in the world, to lose yourself in the simple, slow rhythm and momentum of just writing. And that was, you know, beautiful. In fact, I probably wrote more content faster than I had before. It seems like a slower method, but technically it's actually faster if you just, you know, if you get rid of all that brain fog, you know what I mean? So, you know, what one method could, you know, seem slower, or, you know, what something that could be arguably worse, which is like, you know, handwriting. It's slower, takes longer, you know, like it's nothing compared to like, you know, just typing it out. But the results get me there, and they get me there quicker. So find your own way, you know? So that's something that I just basically like figured I'd share. Something that that kind of like came across my mind when I was getting back into the writing biz. In terms of writing though, let's go ahead and give an update about the novel. So around chapter 12, we finished that on the 11th, which, surprise, surprise, that was a 1-week chapter. Hey, not bad. So we managed to knock out a chapter in 1 week. I'm hoping that we might be able to knock out this chapter in 1 week also, or perhaps shorter. We will eventually see like what that would yield. But yeah, I figured I'd give it a shot, and I'm also going to be applying probably the handwriting method. I guess now, like I still need to figure out what is going to happen in the second half of this chapter. So perhaps a little bit of handwriting is in order. We'll see where that goes, what will happen. And yeah, I think once I have like the meat of what I would like to edit, fix, and make sure that like, you know, works, probably gonna do some transferring that over to typing. So yeah, I think we're switching things up a little bit. We're still trying to like, and I think that's like what the whole point of like a first book is. It's like really trying to discover what your process is. So yeah, just food for thought, guys. Staying dynamic, thinking, wondering what ways to, you know, improve yourself, and you know, not being afraid to try anything, really. I mean, if you want to listen to rain, we can certainly do that. I have no particular preference as to like what I want to do for a handwriting stream, but I don't know. I feel like chill would probably be a good way to like go. We'll have to see. But anyways, do you guys have any other questions before we get started? All right, so anywho, guys, it is like 10 o'clock right now. I got to do some Curse of Strahd reading. But for those of you who are interested, I recommend you leave a follow. It's a great way to get notified when we do this type of stuff. I also recommend you check out our Discord by hitting ! Discord in chat. can get a link right there, and you can continue talking to us like over there. It's also where you can get the stream archives. You can also get some of the journal entries that we post and discuss about. And there's also a little channel there, so if you have any questions for me, you can post it right there, and we can discuss it on stream. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate the love and support. It's always fun doing this type of stuff and being able to hang out with you guys and kind of make these days a little bit more, therapeutic, relaxing, and laugh. It's a good time. It's a really good time. But anywho, let's go ahead and end the stream, guys. Take it easy. And as always, stay passionate.